What's going on, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Uh, I told y'all last night that I was gonna backdoor. Told y'all I was gonna backdoor hit y'all with another one again tonight. I meant to come on here a lot earlier, but circumstances, of course. And I also told y'all last night that I would have a topic just go around. So, uh, true to my word tonight, true to my word, it's what it is, man. We got a topic for y'all tonight. As y'all can see, I'm asking the question, how far are you willing to go? Well, that's two questions. How far are you willing to go? And that's the end of it. Just period. But I also backdoored with another question asking, what's off limits on social media? And the reason why I'm asking that question, as y'all come in, please hit that like button for your big brother. I don't want to go through what we went through last night, but because I ain't gonna be on here long. But does everything go on social media, man? I just want to know, man, is there no limits to what people can say about you, post about you, uh, share about you? Are you just open game, fair game, open season on you? And no matter what it is, see, because the one thing about this social media game, man, is it has made a lot of what we refer to as regular people. It's made a lot of regular people into celebrities. That's a fact. There's never been more celebrities active in the world in any time in history than there is right now. And that is due to social media, right? If you go back 25 years ago, when there was no social media, that was barely internet. It was just popping off, right? The only famous people were people you saw on TV. That was it. Heard them on the radio, saw them on TV. That's it. When the internet kicked in and when social media kicked in particular, then now people started to figure out ways to make themselves famous, make themselves careers, and make themselves a lot of money, just becoming well known off of your platforms, off of the things you do on your platform. YouTube is probably what are probably the two biggest catalysts, social media catalysts behind making people famous that were just regular people. Would you say YouTube and Instagram? I'm asking the question. I guess you got to throw TikTok in there. What would y'all say are the top? But I know those are among the tops, right? So you got YouTube, Instagram, and I would say TikTok now are the three that are the most used in terms of making regular people rich and famous. So that being said, there are more celebrities now than there's ever been, and homegrown, like organic celebrities. Like I was just a regular dude sacking groceries. Now I got 10 million followers putting up content on YouTube, right? All that said, and all that means is that now, whereas back in the days, 25, 30 years ago, there were only a few people that you could target. There are only a few people that you could shoot a slug at. There are only a few people that you would hit that be old enough. Well, I can't say not be old enough because they still have these, but the tabloid magazines, right? You had the National Enquirer, and that was another one. I think it was called Star. And I don't know if they still around. You see them in the grocery store all the time, but you would see them. You would see celebrities' faces on these tabloid magazines, and they would attach fake stories to the celebrities just to get people to buy. So they would put a picture of, I'm old school. They'll have a picture of Burt Reynolds or somebody. Y'all don't know who Burt Reynolds is. I see KO is in the chat. He know who KO know who Burt Reynolds is. They have Burt Reynolds or they have who else you could think of? There's somebody famous from back in the day. Anybody, right? And they'll have this story. Burt Reynolds says he was abducted by aliens. And that would be the equivalent of what we have now, clickbait. Because the title and the picture attached to the title. See, some of these YouTube channels, you see the title, you see the thumbnail, and you see the title of the video, and you see the caption. It looks just like the old school tabloid magazines. That's exactly what it is. It's just digital tabloid, right? Tabloidism. And they would put these stories, the stories would be false, or they may be founded in some truth, but they'll add so much falsehood to it just to sell magazines. And there was many instances where celebrities would actually sue tabloid magazines for, like, lying on them. So you see the same thing in social media today. If anybody famous is going through a situation, every YouTuber is talking about it. Everybody got an opinion on it, from the biggest YouTuber all the way down to somebody who got 20 subscribers, because everybody's trying to get in on the story or get ahead of the story or get a take on the story because it's a rat race for the views, for the clicks, for the likes, right? But I will say that's what the title is about. Do y'all think that just because somebody is famous and they're a celebrity, that nothing is off limits, that you could just go in on them? Or if it's somebody that you don't particularly care for, you don't really like them, right? It gives you the right to just go in and attack them, right? It's a lot of these cats on YouTube that I'm not really fond of. But I stay out of the mess. Even if I have an opinion about certain people or certain things, it's not always for me to speak on that. Because the way I look at it, my mission is set to go in this direction. This is my mission. I'm over here working out my mission. And when you have a company, when you have an organization, when you're setting something up, one of the first things that an organized company does, or an organized organization does, they create what's called a mission statement, right? In that mission statement is included basically the premise of what your thing is all about, what your organization. This is what we represent. This is what we stand on. This is what we do, and it's going to be worded in your mission statement. My mission statement, it's not written in words, it's written in my head, is that I'm not in this to try to bandwagon gossip stories, or even hot topics, hot stories, or even popular news stories. I'm not in this to do that for the sake of clicks and views. And I say all the time, if I touch on something that everybody is talking about, it's strictly because I may see something in it that I can use to speak on to connect with y'all. It may be a lesson in it that I can pull from it. And sometimes even when I pull a lesson from it to present to y'all, I still might not mention the story because I just don't like to jump on that. Everybody's got 99 videos out about this situation, but every so often I will tip it here and there because that's not my mission. But when you have this tabloid type mindset where you're willing to do anything for the views, even if it means contributing to the lies, contributing to the false narratives, all of the BS, the gossip, you have no dignity about that because you might have got a little taste of that money that comes along with those million views or whatever. That's cool. Not my place to judge it, right? But I always was of the opinion that there's certain things that even at our most triflingest points, my opinion is you're not supposed to go there. Certain things you don't touch, man. So somebody dies. And I always think about Kevin Samuels when I use this example, because he pops in my mind when I use this example. Kevin Samuels, I'm not gonna go into trying to explain to everybody who he was and all that. I'm assuming that some of y'all know who he was, and I'm assuming that some of y'all may not know who he was. But the one thing I'll say about who he was that I can definitively say is the truth about him is that he was a polarizing figure. And what that means is that when somebody say you're a polarizing figure, that means the people who deal with you, they're either on one side of the equation or they're on the other. They love you or hate you. Not much in between. So Kevin Samuels was a polarizing figure, right? A lot of people loved him. A lot of people hated him. A lot of women hated him, or they say they did. Because it's hard to say that you hate somebody or you even strongly dislike somebody, but yet you always coming back to them, checking on seeing what they doing. Because I went on a couple of Kevin Samuels live streams because I was just impressed with the numbers. When I first started hearing about Kevin Samuels, I was like, let me see who this dude is. Everybody talking about him. And I saw, what he was on. Certain things I disagree with, certain things I agree with. But I was always impressed with how he built his platform and the fact that, like I say, when I would go on his live streams, he would have 25, 30,000 people on his live. Like we looking at mine now, I got like 38 people on this live right now. That's like, but everybody that was on that live, they were not people who just loved him like that. Some people were on there just to come on there to hate him, just to come on there to comment something negative about him, just to try to get on a FaceTime with him to go at him. So everybody gets down with you for different reasons. But when he died, of course, naturally, the people who liked him, they felt bad. They were upset. It was like, man, that's a tough loss. It's a tough blow. It's like we think about now, we think about our brother Big Pokey. It's like, man, you know, everybody loved Pokey. It's like, man, that's a tough blow because of the love that everybody had. So the people who loved Kevin Samuels, it was the same thing. But the fact that he was a polarizing character, right? It was a lot of people who celebrated the fact that he had died. So a lot of women, I saw a lot of women going in like no remorse, posting comments, making special posts on their own social media platforms, basically celebrating or basically attributing his death to karma. That's what he get. He disrespected these women. I don't get into. I don't know God's mind like that. I'm always amazed when people talk like they are in tune with God's mind to know when he's enacting what they call karma on people. God don't like ugly. See, I knew. How you know that God set that in motion? We don't know if he did or if he didn't. But either way, it ain't for me or you or nobody else to celebrate. Because what might he set in motion on you? So I was always of the mindset that if that was somebody that I didn't like or I had a problem with, and that person passed away, hey man, I back off after that, man. We could have been going at it for years. We could have been like the Hatfields and the McCoys, right? Going at it. But I let it go after that because the fight is over. If you fighting a guy and he taps out and the people get in between and to separate y'all, and you still trying to move, people still trying to hit the man, and the man is, then we start to look at you. What's wrong with you? You won. It's over. It's over. He not fighting no more. Now, this is not a win or lose situation when somebody passes away that you may have had a problem with, but definitely they not fighting no more. Whatever they were doing that upset you, that made you dislike them, they're not doing that no more. So if we can't release or let go that mentality of man, I hate this person so much that I'm going to continue to still speak ill about that person after they're gone. Now, if somebody asks you, well, no, I never really cared for him. I really didn't like him. You keep it real. That's cool. Okay, that's fine. But to go out your way every time, or to use it as a means to capitalize on views on your social media all the time. You might tell the story. You might, okay, you're a YouTuber. Hey man, you that's what you do. You'll report the story. But if 3 weeks, 4 weeks pass and you still putting posts up about the man, come on. I've seen a situation like that where a person had an issue with another person and the person didn't die, but they had an issue. They had a business issue with somebody else. And even after the business issue was resolved, not necessarily resolved because the person that they had a problem with made it right. It was understood that this was never going to be right or work out and go your separate ways. And this person wouldn't stop talking about it every day on social media. First 2 days, people going to be like, Oh man, that's messed up. Wow. Okay, man. I hope things work out, man. You know, keep your head up. Man, after you've been posting this for a week straight, nobody cares anymore, man. You've given this too much energy. But when you have a situation where you are just using another person's misfortune for the benefit of your platform, how far are you willing to go? Somebody dies or their child dies, or that ain't something to be speaking on in a negative way, man. That's just how I feel. You got to leave that alone. You got to go full MC Hammer on that, man. You can't touch it. You can't touch it, man. Do views mean that much, bro? This is not, and this I guess this is a rhetorical question because I know the answer. I've seen people on these platforms, they move in such a way where it makes you feel as though they almost want or hope for something tragic to happen in the industry where they can pounce on it with that person, that celebrity, and go in and talk about it because they have locked in so hard on the views. They are looking at it like, man, this is going to get me a lot of views. So now you have a disconnect with the person who's on their social media and actual humanity. I guess that's the term I could use. Because there's certain things where, in my opinion, I can't make nobody do nothing. Nor would I even begin to try. But in my opinion, there are certain things that are just inhumane. It's certain things that are just over the line. It's not to say don't talk about it, but it's a tasteful way to do everything. And we all have to be mindful of the fact that you have a life too. You have a family too. You may have a child or children, relatives too, that you would never want to see anything bad happen to. And on top of that, you would be beside yourself if somebody was speaking negative about your misfortune. You would lose it. But because it's your views and you making money off of it, it's all right. We all know people like that. We know people who feel like they can do whatever they want to do to other people. They can say whatever, I can say whatever I want to say about other people. But the minute somebody say something about them, man, they act like you blew up their house. See? It's a dangerous game, man. How important are those views, man? What are you willing to do? And I'm learning every day that people are willing to do pretty much anything, man. Y'all see the title. That's what we on tonight, man. This is not open topic, so I'm not answering any questions that are not related to this topic. Anything that gets talked about tonight is going to be on the title. Read the title of what we on tonight. So, how far are you willing to go? And you can ask that question before or during the success, right? What do I mean by that? I mean that there are a lot of people who started rapping, a lot of people who started doing social media, and the direction that they were going in initially, it didn't work out for them. Like it didn't move fast enough. I was trying to be a conscious rapper, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. Conscious rap don't sell. So I started making nasty songs. I saw a guy do that before. I saw a guy who he was straight up black power conscious. He was straight to the bone, like I'm in the movement. And you would see him at all of the community events and the conscious crowds and all that. You would see him in all that until one day you didn't see him no more. And the next time I saw him, I was at a club, regular club, at a show, and the same guy came out, and he had two girls with him twerking and dropping it to the floor, and he was rapping about doing all sorts of things to him, and I had to double check, like, hey man, ain't that some old boy? Hey man, that's old boy, ain't it? That is him. Now, I wasn't judging him, but it did make me know that I was like, it was a lesson. Like, there are certain people who are in it. They lay out their mission statement, and man, they in it for that reason. It's certain people who gonna be whatever they feel like they got to be in order to make it. Usually, that type of scenario goes the other way around. Usually, you might start off ratchet. Then you kind of come into some knowledge. You kind of come into some understanding and like, oh man, you know what? I got to change my content. I got to do better. I got a responsibility and obligation to the people. I can't make. Then they go. They evolve out of the ratchet into more positive stuff. Old buddy went in reverse. Hey man, y'all hit that like button, bro. If y'all haven't hit that like button, hit it for me right now. See, one of the biggest misquotes of all time, one of the greatest phrases that always gets misquoted, and I've been hearing this thing get misquoted since I was a little boy, is when people say money is the root of all evil. One of the biggest misquotes of all time. Like, why do y'all say money is the root of all evil when it clearly says the love of money? You leave out the love of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. And part of that is that because it makes many of us resort to doing whatever it takes to get that money. And it's one thing to chase it, the money or the attention. It's one thing to chase it at the expense of your own dignity, your own integrity, your own self-respect. It's one thing to just hand that over in and of yourself, but it's another thing to chase that at the expense of somebody else. So if I gotta embarrass that guy, if I gotta embarrass her, put her on blast, talk about her business, if I gotta get up there and buffoon around and crack jokes about this person's bad luck and misfortune, and the more I buffoon and clown around, the more people gonna pop in. That's why, look, that's why my lives is dry, bro. Cause I don't get into all that, man. I can get on here and talk foolish and go off on people and cuss people out who ain't never did nothing to me and talk crazy. I can get on here and do all that. And I guarantee you within a week, my channel will be just through the roof. But I got to answer my own question. What am I willing to do? I'm not willing to do that. Because no amount of money is even worth the coming out of character, because that would be out of character for me. But it's also not worth the disrespect being levied at somebody else who doesn't deserve it, or it's not my place to issue it out. So you got to stand on something. That's why I used the analogy about a mission statement. A mission statement ain't something you just write down and type out. It's something that's typed out in your head and that you live. This is my way. This is what I do. And anybody that's affiliated with me, or anybody that's along for the ride with me in terms of me doing what I do, they got to be like-minded on that. I got homies that smoke weed, and I got homies that don't smoke weed. And the ones of us who don't smoke weed, if we go out of town, it's usually all of us in the car together. The ones that do, they usually in the car together. Now, sometimes you get mixed, the two kind of come together. Circumstance and necessity. But you got to know what you are and what you roll with, and you got to move forward on that and bring people along who are on that same page with you. I'm not answering any questions that are not connected to tonight's topic. I did a 2-hour open topic last night. That's why some of them are open topic, some of them are specified, like tonight. El Malik Shabazz said, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, whenever you say you want to do right in this world, you will be tried severely to see if you really want to do it. That's beautifully put, because there's a scripture in the Holy Quran that I'll paraphrase, because I hardly ever remember verbatim, but it's a scripture in the Holy Quran that says, speaks along the line of, do you think you can just go around saying that you're a believer and not be tried? Now, like I say, I paraphrased. I didn't say that. I didn't quote that exactly, but that's the same principle. So you can come in the door saying, well, I'm conscious. I'm this kind of rap. I'm this kind of artist. I'm this kind of content creator. I'm this kind of influencer. And that's cool. But what's going to happen when it ain't popping off like you hoped it would have, or like you thought it would have? So now it's slow. They say, well, man, all you got to do is get you a few trap beats, make a few songs about this, man. Make a video and you got some women around you and you throwing up money. That's all you got to do. Rap about killing some people. That's all you got to do. You being tried in that moment. Dude tried to, I ain't say make me, but he reached out to me. A guy reached out to me about doing a commercial for him, making a rap song commercial for him about some electronic cigarettes. And I was like, nah, man, I don't rap about. I try not to rap about nothing that I don't actually participate in. So I don't really like to rap. I don't like to talk about. I'm not going to talk about smoking weed in my raps because I don't smoke. So I was like, well, nah, man, I appreciate it. And there was some respectable money involved. Some money I wanted at the time. But I had to stand on my principles. Like, nah, man, I can't rap about all the stuff I rap about, and then all of a sudden you hear me doing a commercial about some cigarettes in any form. Because he tried. I got to give him his credit. He said, no, man, these are not actual real cigarettes, man. These are like the electronics, At the time, I didn't know anything about what's what. I didn't know anything about that stuff. I just knew that if I did a little research, I just knew it was still going to be something that was not healthy for people, that I knew I shouldn't be making anything promoting that, right? So we had about 3 or 4 exchanges through email, back and forth, respectful the whole time, both sides. And I just like, nah, bro, I can't do it, man. He tried every way to, well, no, you're not actually, nah, I can't do it, bro. And I know that if I would have done it, I would have felt it. Appreciate you, Lindsay. Thank you for hitting the like button. I would have felt it if I did it. Anything that goes against the grain of just your nature, just what you really know in your heart that you don't stand on, it bothers you for a long time. It bothers you when you don't do it for money. See? But when you do it for the money, I'm going to use a tough example, and I don't want nobody to take it the wrong way. It's just an analogy, but it happens. Picture a female who has a lot of self-respect. She live her life like, hey, man, I'm not out there like that. I respect myself. I move a certain way. Boom, boom, whatever. And she gets in a bad situation, a financial situation where she really got her back to the wall. She in dire straits, right? and something happens where she's propositioned by, hey, you need a little extra little 500 to pay your rent. All you got to do is, and that's not how she built. That's not how she's wired up. But she's literally at the end of her rope. She has no other way. Got children, and she succumbs to that situation and allows herself, she gives her body up for that 500. That's gonna bother her, even though she knows why she did it. She knows why she did it, but that's not who she is. And even though it temporarily accomplished the goal and bought her some time, it still just goes against the grain of her nature to have to get it that way. That's a real one. But some people, they look at a situation like that. Oh, this is a blessing. This fell from the sky. I'm seeking that out. And I need some money. I'm going to go out here and sell some dope to my people. I'm going to go out here and kill my own people because I got bills to pay. I got to get this money. Forget your life. Forget that this person got children, the family, their whole life and mind is destroyed by this dope that you selling them because I got to get this money. How far are you willing to go? At the expense of other people, to have other people suffer for your benefit. Don't we already live in a country? Those of us who live in America, you know, we got people from all over the world on my chats. But those of us who live in America, don't we already live in a country? And if you don't live, don't we already live in a world that does that? That has no remorse for the destruction, for the intentional destruction of people, all for their own financial gain. We already live in a world like that. So that world that we live in that's already operating like that, that represents a macrocosm. But inside of that macrocosm, we have microcosms where we're down here on our little levels doing it to each other. It ain't no amount of money worth that. And the dangerous part about living that way, where it's like, hey, where nothing is off limits to me, or I'm willing to try it, I'm willing to do it, or even in desperation, you never thought about doing something like that, but in a moment of desperation, you look to the left and look to the right and was like, all right, I gotta do what I gotta do. The danger in that is that the more times you do it, the more desensitized you become to the consequences, the after effects of it. You start to have less and less remorse about doing it. Now you do something one time and you feel terrible about it. And I can't believe I did that. Oh man. Like somebody rob a bank, or you go jacking, go rob somebody. You just pull up. You never did it before. You and your partner. Then all of a sudden you pull up on them and y'all rob the dude. And you might have been the one to crack him upside his head. Then y'all get back to the house and y'all counting the money. But you like, And I ain't never did nothing like that before, man. God, are you thinking in your mind how when you hit the dude, how he just fell back? You don't know if he dead or alive. You just knocked the dude out, and that's replaying in your mind. So you feel the remorse. You feel like, oh man, I just went against my character, man. But then you keep doing it. And the more you keep doing it, the less and less you start to feel bad about it. Because we have the ability to make good things become a part of our makeup to where that's who we are. And we have the ability to make bad things become a part of our makeup. And that's what we become, right? So sooner or later, it ain't no big deal no more. You did this 18 times now. You ain't tripping no more. It is what it is. Because the thing about us as people, the one quality that we have as human beings, and it works for the good and it works for the bad, is the quality of adaptability. We adapt and adjust to any types of situation. So something can just be terrible to us in the moment because you've been taken out of another situation that you had previously adapted to. Now you've been thrown into this situation and this culture shock and all this going on and chaos. But sooner or later, you're going to lock in and go, all right, well, this is what it is now. And as time goes on, even if it's not an ideal situation or a situation you just love to be in, you will develop a degree of comfort in that situation. Okay, I've been doing this for 8 months now. I'm used to it. You'll adapt to it. But that's the good and the bad. Because there are certain things that we should not allow ourselves to become comfortable with and become comfortable with adapting to. Certain things we have to rebel against. Like, nah, I don't never let myself be cool with that. But we don't always put up the kind of fight that we should be putting up. And God forbid the circumstances dictate, like, I really need this money. Some people, there's no limit to what they'll do. So you have no problem getting on the internet and making mockery of somebody's child dying, making mockery of somebody who lost everything they had. They was rich, had a bunch of money, and all of a sudden something happened and they lost it all. And you making fun of that. You have no problem making mockery of somebody who, even if they wasn't the best person in the world, but then they get jumped on or beat up or hurt real bad. You have no problem making mockery of that. And a lot of times it comes from a place of another person's pain. And I had to learn that just from listening to other people who have been through trauma and listening to people like OG1, our brother Reginald Gordon out here in Houston, who does a great job working with the youth. And he specializes in dealing with trauma, particularly in our young boys, because we've been taught to not show vulnerability or pain, or that's soft. So the pain of many people and trauma that many people have gone through, it gets dismissed, it gets overlooked, it gets smothered, muzzled, ignored, suppressed, whatever you can come up with, because I'm a dude. So the pain is not outwardly or verbally expressed or revealed, but it's outwardly shown because it got to come out. So you lash out in other ways because what was imposed on you when you was innocent, when you didn't ask for that to happen to you, you now find yourself projecting it onto other people. So the first time I heard somebody or saw somebody kind of just doing that, or just what I perceived to be getting out of character, like, man, this dude is flipping out, man, what's going on? You know, it ain't that serious. I heard a brother say, well, nah, man, that brother in pain, man. He in pain. I was like, he in pain? Not physical pain, not my arm hurt, not my back is aching. He in pain, man. And they say hurt people hurt people. So I didn't understand that people like to, I don't say like to, people tend to project. I want to make you feel, I want to make other people feel what I felt. I want to make you understand what I still deal with every day up here because of what was done to me. I got to make y'all understand that. So I got to project it on as many people as I can. See, I didn't understand that, but I do now. Because these are unchecked, untreated conditions and ways of thinking. Unchecked, untreated. And when I say untreated, I ain't talking about no medicine. I'm talking about, matter of fact, not only unchecked and untreated, undiagnosed, unnoticed. Just un. So if you are trapped inside of that kind of condition with yourself, and all your life nobody has seemed to even acknowledge it, recognize it, put their arm around you, hey man, you just living. And not only are people not recognizing it or to try to help it, they're not even, they're adding to it. They adding to it. I almost forgot my thought. Thank you, God. They adding to it. And we don't know how to deal with it ourselves. So now you look up, years pass, and all of a sudden, this new magical tool comes along called social media. Now, the mentally ill person, the hot-headed person, the traumatized person, whatever category you can list, they have now been empowered with the ability to present themselves to the world in that form. And in a lot of cases, many of them have become very successful because the personality is still there. So you have a strong personality, a good person. You may be funny in your presentation or whatever, and people will gravitate towards that, mixed in with the fact that like-minded individuals, people who are they relating because they going through what you're going through, so they relate. They man, I feel that dude, man. He reminds me of me. But too many times though, the content, man, the content will benefit you individually, but it won't benefit us collectively. As a collective, it's bringing us down. As a people, it's bringing us down. Individually, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I talked about that dude mama and I got 1 million views. Yeah, man, but would you want somebody to talk about your mama? Shout out to Jimi Hendrix, man. Thank you for the donation, man. I saw it a while back. I appreciate you. Would you want somebody to talk about your mama? Would you want somebody to talk about your son, your dead son, your dead daughter, your mentally ill child, your incarcerated father? All right, man. Let me see what y'all talking about. I'm not reading no off-topic comments. Michelle says the one thing I hate about social media, especially TikTok, that makes me just rah, is the animal abuse that was happening, especially early days of TikTok and those abusers of profit. See, I'm not on TikTok. I wasn't aware that they was doing anything to animals. Anything for views, though. That's the key, man. Look, man, I got a song called Followers and Likes, and that's kind of what I'm on. Y'all want to go listen to it if you haven't already. It's called Followers and Likes. I just don't like when we go at people about things as if nothing can happen to us, as if the same thing can't happen to you. If you got a child and you celebrating and making jokes and mockery about the death of somebody else's child, what makes you think something can't happen to your child? I'm reading y'all's comments, man. Let me see. Man, y'all all over the place tonight, bro. Like for real, for real. Like y'all are on top. Y'all are talking about things that have absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. Is that Jaquez says selling dope is crazy? Yeah, it is. And like I say, we don't judge people because everybody make mistakes. You know, people you make mistakes at a time, and then you snap out of it and you transition into a better way, and you feel bad. We've all done things that we look back on now and be like, man, what was I thinking? But it's about moving out of that stuff and elevating into better situations. I'm just scrolling backwards. I'm going backwards in time. Bro, I don't know what y'all be on, man. Hit the like button if y'all haven't already. Anybody that hasn't hit the like button. What's the night? Sunday? This weird. It's like everybody on, not everybody, but seeing a lot of comments. Y'all just be in y'all own world, huh? Y'all just be in y'all own little, it's like this is the subject, but I'm just gonna be in my comment. I'm just gonna be typing saying anything. I'm gonna talk about the Care Bears tonight. I'm gonna make 900 comments talking about the Care Bears. And yeah, Ronald Reagan ate pizza every Tuesday. Like, what are y'all talking about? I mean, what are y'all talking about? It's weird, man. I'm seeing like 4 or 5 people in this country that y'all are just all over the place. It's like, well, y'all just waiting. Like, as soon as he goes live, I'm gonna use this as my soapbox to just say freaking anything. I'm just gonna say anything. Let's talk about playing bingo. It's weird, man. Weird. Kool-Aid said, especially in this lifetime, you better stand for something. That's a fact. The OG Triple X South Park Coalition, my brother, says no amount of money should jeopardize your integrity. Yeah, because we live in a world where it's very easy to give away parts of yourself that you can never get back, or it will be very hard to get back. Hard to get back certain parts of yourself once you cross a certain line, man. Even with a mistake. Man, look, I'm going backwards, y'all. So Waji Muhammad said, in the past, I turned down alcohol job because of not drinking. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to participate in a profession that you don't even do. Like, I couldn't work for the pharmaceutical industry because I don't ride with the inner workings of it. I don't believe that it's righteous. It's a right. I believe that its mission statement, its secret mission statement, is one of depopulation and genocide. I don't believe it's based and set around actually healing. It's a difference between, and I know Michelle gonna ride with me on this one. If don't nobody in here ride with me, I know Michelle, Pee Wee, a few other people that's still in here, Lindsay. I know. See, it's a difference between healing and treatment. Somebody tell you, hey man, this, we've come up with great treatments for this. But nah, don't focus on treating it. Focus on curing it, healing it. But where's the money in that? So I can't work for Walgreens. I can't get a job at CVS. Because every day I would have to ring up something that I know is killing these people. And then they mind, they like, man, I need this to get better. Keandre, I didn't see you in here. Man, what are y'all talking about, man? Y'all just in y'all own world. Are y'all talking to each other? Are y'all in here having conversations with y'all self? Are you just saying, hey, man, the sky was real cloudy today? Yeah, I noticed the sky was cloudy. Then you come back and answer yourself? Anna Menarche says social media has gone too far. When I get beautiful Lizzo pictures and smug vegan posts dissing non-vegans. Well, let me say this, because I have to disagree with you. Lizzo is beautiful, but we all have the capacity or the ability to misuse ourselves or misrepresent ourselves in a public setting. And it goes back again to some of us we just have trauma. We have things that we got to get out. It's something that we may not have received, a level of love that we may not have received coming up that makes us misrepresent ourselves when we get an opportunity to do so. So if we see one of us, if I see one of my beautiful black sisters and she's acting outside of herself, she being other than herself, I'm not going to condemn her, and I'm not going to never say she's not beautiful. But for anybody, I don't care whoever it is, Lizzo, or if it's somebody that people may say, um, it's all right to see this one looking like that, but it's not all right to see that. Nah, it's still a misrepresentation. And social media does feed that, because that's the whole point. It gives us the platform to say, okay, well, I can be this. Wow, I can be this. I can get this attention. But I always like to look past any of my brothers and sisters who may be outside of themselves. I see you. Okay, nah, I don't approve of that. I ain't really feeling you doing that. But for 1 second, we'll address that in house. But let me move you to the side. I'm gonna always move them to the side and look at the CEO or the company behind them that's encouraging them, empowering them to do that, and paying them to do that. See, we can't always look at the branches. We got to look at the root. Lizzo is a branch, just like any of our brothers that's rapping and talking about this or that. They branches. They ain't the root. Them devils running them the Hollywood and the record company. That's the root. Doc Loke is in the building where he was. I'm going backwards. I don't know who's still in here. Well, let me go back the other way. Let me catch back up. Let me catch back up. Hit the like button if y'all haven't already. Hit the like button if you haven't already, man. What are you willing to do, man? How far are you willing to go for some money, for a position, for some fame, for just approval? See, because sometimes this goes beyond, this goes deeper than people trying to get on and be famous. Man, it goes beyond social media. Sometimes, man, it's just a person in your life that have always mistreated you, and you just spend your whole life trying to get that person just to approve, just to say, I'm proud of you, good job, or I love you, or could be somebody in your family. And you end up putting yourself out there, going super out the way to get this person's approval, and it ain't worth it. Hold on, man. I got all about the culture. I appreciate the love, man. K-Rino, I appreciate the knowledge that you distribute to the masses. I stand firm with you. Hey, man, I appreciate that. All about the culture, man. That's where we got to be. We got to be all about. See, your name, bruh, your screen name embodies the antithesis of what we talking about in in these titles. See, when you all about the culture, they can't get you to sell out. They can't make you sell out because the culture existed before the business aspect of it did. The culture existed before the industry oriented aspect of it did. The culture itself was what the industry went after to bring into itself. So your name, bro, your name represents, it says it all. It says a lot. You got a power. There's power in that, just in that name, man. All about the culture. Because the culture was before it all. For all of us who participate in this. When I started doing music, my first thought wasn't, I'm going to be a rapper and I'm going to rap for a living and make money. And that wasn't my first thought. My first thought was like, man, whatever this little new thing is, that's rap, this rap thing, I love it and I want to do it. And I'm doing it because I love it. I immersed myself into what I didn't even know at the time was a culture. I was just doing it just because I love to do it. Then you come into the realization, wow, this is a culture. This is something that's organically built and grown from nothing. Then it got corrupted by corrupt people who are professional corruptors. So we make a mistake of outright condemning those who have been corrupted, and we never look up in that high office to see the person who actually did the corrupting. Lester Smith, salute to you, man. I appreciate you, my brother. You know what it is. Thank you so much. What are y'all willing to do, man? I made a video one time to talk about everybody have a price. Do you have a price? It's people that will contend and say, man, everybody got a price. Just by a show of, let's do a poll. Do you believe that everybody has a price? Yes or no's. Give me some yes or no. Some of y'all might say, yep, everybody got a price. You might have one. But do you believe that everybody, yes or no? Let's do a poll. We got a lot of yes coming in, some no's too. Because some of the people who will say no, I'm sure they like, nah, I'm saying no because I know I don't have a price. So I guess I would also have to add a little piece on to that as well, because you say, okay, well, you know, everybody got a price. In terms of what? Because you might have a price to make you, sister, hey, we want you to do this commercial. We want to give you 20,000. We want you to wear this bikini on this commercial. And you say, nah, that's against what I stand for. I'm not gonna be posing with a bikini on national TV for the whole world to see. No, I'm just not gonna do that. And so, well, come on, you're not all the way nude. You're just wearing a two-piece. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I tell you what, we'll give you $100,000. Then you go, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. We'll give you $200,000. Well, I guess it's just a bikini, Ain't like I'm naked. See, that's one level of, you might say, wait a minute, it's not so bad. We start rationalizing, right? So in one aspect, people might have a price. But on another aspect, it may be something that you like, heck no. Well, we want you in this movie, homie. We want you to be in this movie, sir. And only thing is, we're gonna pay you $100,000 for this quick little scene, but there's a love scene where you got to kiss this guy. And you go, what, man? You crazy. Wow, man, watch out, man. Man, get me out of here, man. No, okay, wait. I'll tell you what, man. We'll increase it to 500,000 just for the scene. Man, ain't no. Man, I know, man. I don't care what. We'll give you $1 million. How long I gotta kiss him? Is it a long kiss or is it a peck? Do you have a price? Because the first time they even present to me about kissing the dude, they're not gonna get a chance to make a second offer. The door gonna be swinging. All they're gonna see is the door swinging. I'm already in the elevator. So when everybody say that they don't have a price, I hope they mean it. Because if you stand on it, you stand on it. Otherwise, you really don't. I stand on it until they come with an offer I can't refuse. Well, you never stood on it. Tamika. Spikey say, hell no, I'm gone. Certain things. I saw Mike Tyson in an interview one time. This was years ago. It's still on YouTube. One of the greatest Mike Tyson moments of my life. Love Mike Tyson for this. They had this guy interviewing him. Mike was in town to promote something else that he was doing. And the guy interviewing him, Mike just there to get interviewed. And the guy brings up Mike's rape conviction. Why you bring that up? Mike's whole demeanor changed. And it was like, he was like, man, should I keep being professional? Or should I just go off on this dude and just have this dude be lucky I don't get up and punch where it's like his whole fist have went through this dude's face, right? So Mike went crazy on the dude, man. The dude, oh, come on, Mike, come on, man. I ain't no come on now. Why you saying come on now? We're on national TV. Come on, why you going into that now? We was on national TV when you crossed the line with that disrespectful question to me. It was all right for you to ask me that disrespectful question. So now when I return the disrespect back for you, now we on national TV. Now you want me to behave because you let your bosses put a key in your back to ask me that disrespectful question that had nothing to do with why I was really supposed to be here in the first place. So I got set up. So now, when you set me up, when you present to me that this is one thing, and then I get there and you show me that it's something else, all bets is off at that point. Let's dance. We dancing now because you show me what kind of person you are. You show me you're not worthy of my respect no more. So we dancing now. I stand on that. I live on that. Oh, come on. No, ain't no come on now. You should have came on in. You let them folks push you into that because of your job. They offered you a promotion. Well, who's going to ask Mike that question? Whoever has the guts to ask Mike that question, there's a bonus in it for you. I'll do it. Man, you lucky Mike ain't knock your sternum through your back. Kool-Aid said, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Jimmy said, most people have a price, but there's a small percentage that stand on principles. You know what? Yeah, I would say most people. What percentage? We did the poll. What percentage of people do y'all think will sell out under the right circumstances? What's the percentage? 20, 80, 38, 59? From the same people. Some people don't have to be coerced or negotiated with. Some people are like, they waiting on the proposal. John Crawford said 80%. Bubba Seeds, 87%. All About the Culture said 60%. Lester said less than half. Less than half? That's pretty low, Lester. Thursday Child said 95% of the people will sell out under the right circumstance. Chad Michael says, why can't you make your price only payable by God? Hey, man, I agree with you. It's a good question. Bryson says, most people would change their mind if it's cash in hand. Especially that, you know how they put the money in front of you? See, I mean, look, man, hey, man, these people are so wicked, man. See, they'll put an amount of money in front of you that you've never seen before in your life. It's like, hey, man, that is right there. It's yours. It's yours. But boy, what you got to do to get it. Tamika says, if offered 80%, it's a pretty high number. Lester, you got a lot of faith in the people, huh? Yeah. Right when I said that, I read your comment. You said, I believe in people. I believe in people's potential. So we kind of close on the same page. I know that we have been made into a certain thing, but that's not who we really are. So I understand, because you're right. You're right. Yeah, Jimmy say dude was shook. You talking about the guy that was interviewing Tyson? Yeah, he was shook. I seen it in his eyes, boy. That boy was milky. He was milky. And rightfully so. I mean, y'all click the like button if y'all haven't already, man. We'll try to get to 100 likes tonight, but if we don't, because I'm not going to hold y'all on here long tonight, I promise. We're in the wind down stage. We're in the wind down stage. You saw me in the beginning of what movie? That Troy movie. What Troy movie? Drop y'all locations, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I promise I'm not. I ain't gonna hold y'all along at all. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Drop your location so I can shout y'all out. And let's wrestle, not wrestle, let's wrestle with this question, man. Because Satan tried to tempt Jesus. He tried to offer Jesus the world. People can't offer you something that don't even belong to them, but they do have a world that they can offer you. So yeah, let me correct myself. The world that they offer, it is their world. You just trust me, you don't want it. Magneticus attractus. L out there in Detroit. Thursday Child in Portland, Oregon. Exploded Views out there in Dallas. Bubba Seeds in Orange, Texas. Beasley out there in Harlem World. Bryson and Sandy, Utah. Chad Michael, Milwaukee. Lester Slow Low. What's that? My bad. Show Low. Anamonarchy out there in Ontario. Bubba Seeds. Yeah, I know what Fruit City. You know, I'm up on that. You know, I'm from Texas, man, right up the way. All about the coach in Lake Charles. It's a YG. You in Houston? I know my homie Jimmy is in Alabama. El Malik Shabazz said, what's off limits on social media? Really, nothing is off. Man, that's true, man. It manifests both extremes of good and evil, right and wrong, and whatever you choose is what you are. Man, come on, bro, teach. Because picture two videos. We've all been in this situation. And I talked about clickbait earlier, right? But sometimes it ain't all about having clickbait. Sometimes it's not clickbait. Exactly what you see on the thumbnail. Sometimes it's exactly what's in the video. They ain't setting you up at all. You about to get what you see. But you have a choice. Like, man, should I click this and get this valuable information that this guy's talking about, or should I click this, watch this clown running his mouth and cussing and talking crazy about people, or this cat here doing something stupid, or this beef they talking, oh, it's a beef. Let me click that. So your mind, you are what you eat, physically and mentally. So when you start to take a liking and develop a taste for certain mental food, mental stimulation, then that's what you want to eat more times than not. See? Spikey out there in Huntington Park, California. Snoop! What up, Snoop? 713 Southwest. West Time and South Gessner. West Time and South Guess on that Southwest. Archangel in Albuquerque. Yeah, man. We in here. El Malik Shabazz in Chicago. Wow. Torrance, I didn't see that. He said, have you seen the interview with Said G discussing Tim Dog being paid by the labels to start the East Coast, West Coast beef? I didn't see that, but guess what? I don't doubt it one bit. I'm going to have to check that out. As long as it's not on Vlad. I don't watch Vlad's channel. B-Row out there in Florida. Phantom Face said, where's your battle? But I don't know if Phantom Face was on last night, wasn't he? I was on last night. Live December 28th. Magneticus Attractus versus Phantom Face final. This time it's personal. SS out there in South Texas. Terry Lucas in Youngstown, Ohio. Bender 438 in Northwest Houston. Respect back to you, my brother. What up, Joseph Milak? Joseph says, keep it real with your people. Stay real to our culture and stay well away from the vultures that want to destroy our culture. Man, wise words spoken. Give me 20 more likes. We got 20 more likes in here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Kool-Aid says, Houston made, Vegas laid. Click the like button if you haven't already, man. You become a product of what you consume. Absolutely. You are what you eat. Mm-hmm. Raining woman out there in the H. Well, out here in the H. I'm talking about out there. Like I don't live in the H. Raining woman. Gotcha. Is that Quxn? I can't pronounce it, but I see you. Y'all go watch the latest episode of my podcast. It was a tribute to Big Pokey, but the second half we was on Vlad's head. Sky the Great says, it tells me a lot about what's going on when people who don't speak the truth, like Jay-Z, become billionaires and doors open left and right for those that speak the truth. Well, I'll say this, and I ain't gonna speak on that, man, but what I'll say is this. You're right. The truth has been intentionally suppressed and kept from the mass. That's always been the MO. But now, prior to where we are now in history with the technology and the social media, it was a lot easier to hide the truth. Now with Google and all these different search engines and like I say, people passing along truth and information, it's made it a lot more difficult. The playing field has leveled out to a degree. So what they're doing to keep the advantage is they're putting out more and more negative content to shift our focus to the negative. Like I just got through talking about with you see the two thumbnails and now you like knowledge, big booty twerking. Knowledge, people fighting. Knowledge, somebody on here being a buffoon and starting beef. See, they make the decision tough because they make, as the Quran says, evil. They make evil fair seeming. They make good seem bad and bad seem good. So any hiding of truth, gotcha, Quana. Any hiding of truth is on purpose. The lie has to be preserved because the truth exposes the liar. You back up a little bit. Good point, Sky. Mm-hmm. Look, man, controversy sells, sex sells, beef sells. We don't know who we dealing with, man. That's the biggest problem. We don't know who we dealing with. Andres Almanza, Mike Harvey, what's going on, man? Sky says, most people in Canada don't know about you when you are a great MC and role model. Oh, it's all good, as long as you know. What part of Canada you in? I'm coming back to Canada in a couple of months. Do you think social media should be regulated? By who? It can. See, we can regulate, so we can discipline ourselves to like, I'm not going. It's certain things I never click. So That's a form of putting yourself under a discipline that causes you to say, I'm not ingesting that. I'm not consuming that. You know, the people can always come together and make a stand against something and maybe make a little noise about it. But I mean, look, man, some of these machines are, it's going to take God to tear them down if we don't. If we don't. There's a lot of things in this world that we need to shut down and unify to make it better, because it's killing our people, killing our children and all that. Nah. Chris Tucker walked away from high life Hollywood and chose otherwise. A lot of people, Terrence Howard just did it. Terrence Howard said he done with Hollywood. See, a lot of people, man, they have always understood. You've been in this thing for 10, 15, 20 years. You understand what you're dealing with. It's just about how far you willing to go. And when you finally had that moment when you wake up and say, I ain't doing this no more. Because again, like I said, every time you sell out in some way, the slightest compromise on something that you know is wrong, right? Little bits of yourself get chiseled off. Click. That's another little piece. Click. They just chip the piece off your shoulder. Click. They just chip the piece off your ear. And after a while, man, you've been lost so much of yourself you can't possibly get it back, because you build up. You know how they say a criminal will build up a paper trail, right? You build up a video trail, a visual. If you've been in 2 movies where they made you wear dresses and makeup and you a dude, that's part of your paper trail. That's now on your resume, because the visual will never be erased from existence. And it doesn't even matter what kind of transformation you make, which is cool if you make the transformation. You say, man, I'm done, man. I'm woke. I'm not doing this no more. They can't make me do that no more. That footage is still out there. Now, if you decided, man, I'm not doing it, now it's not our place to condemn you for what you did then, whether you knew or not. But the reality is that footage is still out there. I got songs and bars where I said lines and stuff. I can't go back and erase that. I can't go back. I can't go Men in Black y'all and make y'all not hear about the time I said this about that and that. I said it. I got to live with that. So it's the same thing. You just don't want to reach a point where your sheet is so long. You want to catch yourself as early as possible. That's why the people who know do everything in their power to try to reach the people who don't know, the young ones coming in. That's why I don't like this disconnect that the rappers have with the old generation and the new generation, because we caught up, we arguing about the wrong thing. We arguing about, man, y'all ain't paying homage. Y'all ain't showing no respect and paying homage. Man, don't worry about that right now. Worry about trying to educate our young brothers and sisters coming up through this industry to not make these life-changing, detrimental, devastating mistakes that they on a path to make it, and that a lot of us made. Watch what you signing. Watch who you signing with. How long you signing. What are they going to have you to do? What are they asking you to do? What are they taking from you? What are they... Learn that. Content. Why they always want me to rap about this? Why they all... Longevity, thinking about the long run, thinking about... We worry about the wrong thing. So we got to get out of that disconnect and realize, hey, bro, as the saying, man, we fight a common enemy. Same enemy that signed me, signed you. It might be his son now. Might be his nephew now. Might be another young CEO that came in the picture. But the principles, the names change, but the game remains the same. We worry about the wrong thing. So yeah. There's another point I wanted to add to that. But yeah, but I was talking about the resume. When you got opportunity at a young age to not even create that kind of digital trail or audio trail, but it comes with a price. You may never see the light of day on that scale because they make you that big name, that household, universal, worldwide. Oh my gosh, everybody knows. They make you that. They allow you to be that. You don't get to that just like we talk about, just on the grind. And I'm on the grind. It ain't no amount of grind in the world gets you to that. They give you that because they know they can take it from you whenever they want to. Give me 12 more likes, man. 12 more likes, if we can. Regulated by age. I thought they had that on there. I thought they had little things on YouTube where you can got to be 18 and older. But you know, a lot of this stuff be BS, man. You know why? Because I saw this and I talked about it a while back, how when you had the all of the child's videos, right? And on the side where they had a suggested recommended videos, they had a Lil Nas X video, and you know what was going on in that video. And that's in the suggested video right under little child's I love you playing with the ABC block type video for 6 or 7-year-olds. Why is that on the side right there? So it's agenda, man. The fact of the matter is that we should never trust any type of regulations or uh, uh, disciplines or anything that's implemented by the very entity that's allowing the trash to be out there. That's like when the police kill a black man and then the police department says, we're going to do an internal investigation to see if there was any wrongdoing. So you're going to investigate yourself, and we supposed to believe that when you investigate yourself, you're going to determine that yourself, your organization, that y'all all look out for each other, was wrong. Nah, that ain't how it go. See, man, the power is in the people. The power is in the people. The people just don't believe they got power. Need 6 more likes, man. I need 6 more likes. 6 more likes. I gotta sing a Negro spiritual to get 6 more likes. Yeah, Magneticus, go watch that. I need 4 more likes. 4 more likes, man, and I can get out y'all way. Chad Michael say God is our regulator. Absolutely. You got to be careful with video. Man, look, go to my podcast, the most unwatched podcast on the internet, Underground Dialogue Podcast, and watch the AI episode. Watch the AI episode. Because I talked about some things that I don't think we really are factoring in. It's called the pros and cons of AI. Not saying, thank y'all for the 100 likes. Not saying that AI is all bad. See, AI is just like anything else in this world. It's about how you use it. Technology is that's all it is. It's just a different type of technology, and we've had technologies that existed um, concurrently or prior to artificial intelligence. It's about how you use it. Same with the internet. The internet is a technology that a lot of good can be taken from it, and a lot of negative could be have a lot of negative use. So it's about how you use it, man. But go watch that episode. It's called Pros and Cons of AI. It's on my podcast channel, Underground Dialogue Network. New episode dropping later on this week. And hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all got us to 100 likes way quicker than last night. Appreciate that. Michelle saw it. Mr. Urban World, send me an email. We'll chop it up. I got to check how many we have, because we don't want to have the whole thing just overloaded. But if you're serious, if you're ready to get down, send me an email. Send me an email. I just put it on there. Brandon 91, you here, but you right at the end. Much love, man. Peace and love. Shout out to my homie Kofi Universe. Okay.